Today we're going to be diving into something that I think is super relevant for pretty much everyone listening to this.
Yeah.
And that is how to build a solid emergency plan, especially if you're living abroad.
Yes. Especially important.
Yeah, and since we know a lot of our listeners are down in Mexico,
Right.
we're going to be focusing a lot of our tips and considerations for Mexico.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people, especially when they're living abroad,
Yeah.
they don't really consider what they would do in an emergency.
Right.
And it's really important, I think, to have at least some kind of a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's so easy to overlook.
Right.
And you just think, oh, it'll never happen to me. But you know what?
Right.
It's better to be prepared
Exactly.
than to not be prepared at all.
And it gives you peace of mind.
Exactly.
So you can actually relax and enjoy your time.
Absolutely.
Right?
I love that. And we're so lucky to have you here with us today.
Well, thank you.
An expert in distilling all this information
I try.
into really clear, actionable plans.
Well, that's the goal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just jump right into it.
All right.
Before we get started, I do just want to remind everyone that if anyone listening
Yeah.
has any specific questions or needs more personalized guidance on expat life, especially in Mexico,
Yes.
definitely check out Brett Lamar at brettlamar.com.
Great resource.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's jump in.
So the foundation of any good emergency plan
Yeah.
is information, and I like to think about it as creating a digital fortress
Ooh, I like that.
where all your vital documents are secure yet accessible even in a pinch.
Okay, that makes total sense. But, I mean, what exactly do we mean by vital documents?
So think about like your passport,
Okay.
things specific to Mexico like your escritura,
Okay.
and that's actually more important than your passport a lot of times.
Oh, really?
If you need to prove property ownership in Mexico.
That's something that I never would have thought of.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't really think about until you need it.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, I wish I had.
Exactly. So we're talking about our escritura, passport banking code,
Uh-huh.
insurance cards, all that good
Well,
stuff.
that and more.
Okay.
So you also want to include contact information for your family
Yeah.
back home. If you have pets, any animal care instructions,
Oh, right. Yeah.
details about your will and life insurance policy.
Okay. So it's really like a comprehensive overview of our life.
Exactly. It is a comprehensive overview.
Wow.
And it's really good to have both a physical copy
Okay.
and a digital copy stored securely.
Okay. So I'm hearing like two key things here, right? One is
Yeah.
like having all this information organized, but then also making sure
Yes.
it's secure, but
Yeah.
also accessible to the right people.
Precisely. So this brings us to the person of confidence.
Okay. The person of confidence.
Yeah, so this is someone you trust implicitly.
Okay.
It could be a close friend, a neighbor, a lawyer.
Yeah.
Especially if you live alone, it's essential to have someone like this.
Okay.
So this person should know where all your information is.
Yeah.
They should have a house key and be able to communicate with hospitals.
Wow. Okay. So it's really about like having that backup.
Exactly, is your backup
Yeah. Okay.
for any situation.
Yeah, and it seems like communication is key.
Yes, communication is absolutely key.
Yeah. And speaking of communication,
Yeah.
I was reading about this idea of like a daily check-in system with friends.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so this is just like a simple thing you can set up. Like a WhatsApp group chat
Okay.
or Messenger, and basically you just check in with each other at a certain time every day.
Got it.
And if someone doesn't check in, that's when the group knows to take action.
That's such a simple but smart idea.
It is simple, it's effective,
Yeah,
and it adds a layer of safety.
for sure. For sure. Now, what about for people in relationships?
Yes.
Because, it's easy to think, oh, well, my partner has everything.
Right. You would be surprised how often even spouses
Yeah.
know things like banking codes or insurance details.
Oh, wow. Okay, so even if you're in a relationship,
Yeah,
you still need to have these conversations and make sure that everything's...
absolutely. You need to be on the same page.
Yeah.
So you're going to have dedicated conversation,
Uh-huh.
walk through each document, make sure you both have access,
Okay.
and know where things are stored.
I think it's so easy, especially when you're living abroad,
Yeah.
to kind of forget about these things, and then
Yeah.
you don't have that same support system as back home.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to have that plan.
Right, to recreate that support system.
Yes. And it really does provide peace of mind.
Yeah.
And just one final thought I encourage everyone
Yeah.
to think about learning some basic first aid
Oh,
skills.
that's a good one.
And researching local emergency numbers,
Oh,
even that little bit of knowledge can make a world of difference.
absolutely. And like we mentioned earlier, if you're looking for more guidance on any aspect
Yeah.
of expat life, reach out to Brett Lamar at brettlamar.com.
He's a great resource.
Absolutely.
All right.
Everyone, safe travels and stay safe.
Be prepared.